Okay.
Everybody ready to go? All right, go.
Thank you, Tony. After reviewing the film, much like I said after the game, a lot of good things to build on, but a lot of work to do. And you always like it that way. It's always much more pleasant to go to work after a victory, knowing there's a lot of things we can improve on. Once again, very pleased with many good things that went on. The biggest thing is the effort. I felt like our kids played extremely fast and aggressive, and I felt like they were in great shape. So you see early on, it's very easy to get cramps and to get winded and to play at that type of game speed, very amped up. First time playing at home in a while in front of fans, and so it's easy to overexert yourself or to get winded a little bit, and I felt like we were in very played many more snaps, which was good, and they played very aggressive. So we made mistakes, but we made them going fast. A lot of things to improve on, and we're looking forward to getting to work this week. Coaches have been at it since yesterday morning, and players will be back this afternoon. We'll watch this film, get some things corrected, and can't wait to get started on Missouri. It's going to be a big game at home. We're looking forward to it. Looking forward to a packed house. We're going to need it. It's going to be a big challenge. They did an excellent job against us a year ago. We have a lot of things to improve on to play them to beat this team. And got a lot of respect for Coach Drinkwitz and what Eli does and the way he runs his program. Very good team, making a lot of improvement. And we're going to have to play a lot better here this week to beat them.
Coach, how pleased are you that you had such a large margin in the score that allows you to play a lot of the freshmen? How pleasing is that?
Yeah, it's always helpful to get those guys reps and to work on, like I said, and I don't mean this in any disrespect, but I mean, we're working on us. We have to get better in a lot of areas and working hard, and that's what's, fun for us to go out there and to perform well, to play guys. Sometimes the games have a tendency to get sloppy and leave a bad taste in your mouth if you're ahead by a bunch and put some other guys in and make some mistakes towards the end of the game and things of that nature. And we certainly had some plays to clean up, but overall I was pleased with the young guys, and you could see their talent, and you could see it was fun to play a lot of guys because they worked very hard.
Mark, after you had a chance to look at the film, what was there about Will? What are you working with him?
Well, I think the obvious things of just ball placement on certain throws, but that's always the case. Nobody's going to play perfect. You're going to strive for perfection, but that's pretty hard to do. So Will missed a couple throws, or was just a couple slightly in front, maybe a couple slightly behind. But the operation was good. A few things he could do better. Reading it, there's always things to improve on. But he did many good things. But accuracy and maybe a little bit of a touch are things that he's going to continue to work on, and he'll get better. I'm not at all concerned. I have a lot of confidence in him, and just gain reps are going to help him improve in a lot of areas.
Last year, they were pretty physical. Missouri was. You guys, it seemed like it looked uncharacteristic almost. I know there were some extenuating circumstances, obviously, on your end, but from what you saw this week, do you think that you'll be able to take that?
No, I think your observations are very fair and very correct. I didn't like the way we were. They played more physical than us, a year ago, and that is uncharacteristic, and I don't particularly like that, and so we need to be much more physical this year.
Mark, the nice thing to say that the game wasn't perfect, but yet there was excellence.
Mm-hmm. There was excellent pieces. There were some very good pieces, but consistency is what we're looking for.
Mark, Missouri new defensive coordinator was Steve Wilkes, guy who has NFL experience. What do you see from him?
Yeah, they're aggressive. They were heavy dose of man coverage in this first game and very aggressive, and a bunch of guys at the line of scrimmage. So we're going to have to win some one-on-ones. That's for sure. We're going to have to play physical, and we're going to have to win some one-on-one battles. But very aggressive defense, very much crowding the line of scrimmage. So we've got to beat some man coverage.
Mark, you talked a little bit Saturday, but how encouraging was it to see Isaiah Epps make those plays in the second half, given all the injuries that he's had to fight through?
Yeah, no doubt. Very happy for Isaiah. Just the fact that he has persevered through some really tough times and really worked hard and a lot of rehab, and I'm sure for him some frustration along the way, and a credit to our doctors staying with it and finding reasons why it wasn't healing up, and getting his foot rectified, getting it fixed, and so I'm happy for him, and obviously he helps us, and that was a really nice play. I believe it was on a third down, and the fact that he was really running, and the fact that Will took that shot and saw it and had the vision to see it and the arm strength to get it out there in a cover 2 defense to the field, that's rare.
You guys had a lot of success obviously in play action on Saturday. Is that and throwing the ball specifically? I know that it seems like that part, for whatever reason, was missing the last couple of years.
That's no big mystery. What's that? Can I call you Captain Obvious on that one? Yeah. So no disrespect, but that was no question. One goes with the other, and it was aggravating. It's well documented. I really don't want to go back to it anymore. But when you could run the ball like we have to be able to hit the ball down the field.
Mark, talk about Bo's pass when he was facing.
Yeah, got hit
and you kept facing and delivered the pass to Dingle.
Well, first thing is I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but his best bud and roommate owes him a pizza or something, because his boy whiffed and got him hit right in the face, and he hung in there and threw a great ball, and he knew he was going to get hit, and it was a great catch by Dingle, and it was fun to see those guys make that play.
Mark, how encouraging is it to you to see when you look on that tackles for loss? You saw all those different guys with tackles. I think 14 of them in one game.
Yeah, that really that's always a starting point with me. Both sides of the line of scrimmage. I've said that since day one. You've heard me say that 100 times in these press conferences. Actually, 101 now, right? 101, yeah. But so, it's a line of scrimmage game, and we've got to continue to get better. But I really like the effort that they played with. We made some mistakes, and we made some penalties and some things that are very aggravating. But we made them going extremely fast and playing extremely hard. It was never for a lack of effort. That's one thing that was obvious when I put on that film, was the effort, and our guys really trying to play aggressive and play fundamentally sound. And again, there's many mistakes, but there's a lot to build on. But we need to play with that mentality, and we certainly need to play with it this week, as it was just pointed out in here. This team was more physical than us a year ago, and we don't like to play that way.
Mark, you guys had held the upper hand over Missouri for quite a few games till that. It seemed like they were really motivated to kind of put that aside. Do you sense that this is kind of a good rivalry in both directions?
I sense that they were much more prepared to play last year than we were, and that's on me. And so I could promise you that's not going to happen again.
Mark, how did Darrell Rosenthal look? How did you evaluate his play after you looked at the video?
He played better, more consistent. He strained more to what, playing to our expectations, and in his own, and he did some good things, and there's a lot to build on from there. Again, we're looking for the consistency, and the consistency in effort, in physicality, And he showed that in the first game. I want to continue to see that.
Mark Liam said after the game that he was kind of pleasantly surprised at how calm you were on the sidelines. He said after that first series, he thought maybe you would go ballistic, but you didn't.
That's thanks to a perception that you guys put out of me. I mean, that's. I mean, I don't ever do that.
So to follow up on that,
Yeah.
this is not the new Mark
Yeah.
Stoops. This is always
That's all. I mean, listen. Show me a coach in America that doesn't, at some point or another, listen. I pride myself on and I coach my way through it. Believe me, it's been 9 years, and I have people that I told you times. Believe me, I talk to people. I need psychologists. I need people to help me, and be prepared for all situations. And I think over time, I don't think I've ever, I've prided myself on always keeping the composure and keeping things in control. Am I perfect? No. Maybe you are. I'm not. You know what I mean? But you always try to get better as well.
You talk about 9 years, and Eli Drinkowitz, he's going on his second year, and you know the challenges of being a second-year coach. You were coming off of a 2-10 season. Do you have any, maybe compassion is the wrong word, can you identify as coaches together, or is your goal just to put that out of your mind and send him packing? Eli and I have built a friendship, and I like him, but he kicked our butt. He kicked our butt. I'm not going to forget. That's on my mind. He had his team more prepared than I was, so maybe he'll have some compassion for me.
Mark, you're talking about consistency. Is this week of practice one of those where you find yourself saying giddy up as opposed to roll more often than you would like?
Or the opposite, you mean? You're saying the opposite, probably. I want us excited about our preparation, but steady. Our team's at its best when we're very business-like, but having that sharp focus. Because you have to do this all year long. You have to be at the same level every day, all the time, no matter who you're playing. Not too high, not too low, but sharp in your preparation. And, as I've said again 100 times, everybody wants to play on Saturday. How excited and motivated are people going to be on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Maybe it's hot out there. Maybe you're beat up. We're going to have physical practices. Or are they going to prepare through the week? And that's always the message and the challenge.
Subject, but is it true that Max Duffy almost ran over you at a Starbucks this year and wiped you out?
I got to listen to this podcast. So I'm going to have a talk with Max. There's some things that are between he and I, and he's sharing to the world. But I think he's a bit of a storyteller, so I'm going to have a talk with him. I'm going to jump on his podcast and straighten him out a little bit.
Speaking of punting,
Yeah.
I don't know, I wasn't necessarily sure if he was going to be out there. You mentioned back issues. What do you think? How did
Yeah, he's we've got to get him back to where he can feel good during the week and everything. It's probably like a lot of sports when you're doing the same thing over and over again. He kind of just put a little pressure on parts of his back that we need to just get calmed down and get him comfortable where he can prepare like he normally would. And it was probably just from the same repetition and just over kicking a little bit. So.
Mark, what are the challenges of defending Connor passing?
Yeah, Connor is a very good player. We know very well. I have great respect for him. He came in last year and just did a remarkable job. I thought he was extremely poised. He has that ability to create space when he needs to and keeping his eyes down the field and extending plays. And, he's one of those guys that are very good, that are, aggravating to a defense, does what he has to do, whether he has to scramble by time, move in the pocket, scramble for a first down, you name it, he'll do what he has to do. But very good player.
I know you guys recruited him. Has he turned out to be about what you thought?
No question. I mean, he's a very good player and very efficient. He's very good with this offense. They do a very good job. They're creative. A lot like us in some ways, where they use a lot of motion shifts, personnel groupings, they maybe use some trick plays to create big plays for them a little more than us, but they're also like us, and their shots are max, protected. They get good protection when they're taking shots down the field. It's hard to get there. There are a lot of big plays happen on first, second down, and in picking their time to take shots and get the ball down the field. And they're very efficient.
Watching film. What do you think of Dingle? Octavius.
Octavius did a really nice job. I thought he played faster than he had in the past. You could see he's worked hard in the off season. Really took to the coaching. He escaped and played fast and played with great energy, and I was excited about that.
Mark, how did your young linebackers play, and how did Jack Jones had it? He played considering he'd been banged up in camp.
Yeah, he played good. He was banged up. He missed a little bit. Some of our linebackers were a bit out of position. We've got some things to correct with just all the different things we did. I don't want to use the word communicate, because then you guys will try to beat me over the head with that for a year. But it's normal stuff. We do a lot of things, and so sometimes it's strong hook, sometimes it's weak hook. But just in the changing of personnel and formations, just cleaning up. Cleaning up some things with some inexperienced linebackers. Again, I'm confident that they'll all play well, and we'll get them straightened out. But we got some guys out of position that we got to get cleaned up.
Mark, what did you think about the online play and the new run blocking?
I felt like, like a lot of years. There's a lot of good, and there's a lot of things to build on, and a lot to clean up, So we always wish. We can perform a touch better, and it's like that, finishing blocks, staying on guys longer. I'll tell you this, I liked the way we tried to be, we were physical and tried to be physical. There were some yards out there that we left on the field, with some cuts too, that we got to see better, and I'd like to believe it's because of the way we're running the ball right now. Our vision was better when everything was inside and downhill. It's a little different when we're teaching outside, and then there's certain plays where they got to see it, and there was big runs backside. But that's a running back's job. You know what I mean? So you don't know where it's going to hit on certain plays. And obviously Chris is Chris. He makes people miss and runs hard and physical, and is very talented player, and all of our backs are, but there's some yards we left on the field in the run game.
Excuse me, sorry.
That's right.
It's early in the season. So is there anything about Missouri that surprises you or doesn't surprise you?
No, they're what you would expect. They're good. They play hard. They're a well-coached football team, and that's where it starts. With guys in the right position and play the game the way it's supposed to be played, and play very physical, play hard, and do a good job. They keep you off balance. They certainly did a year ago. They had a lot of drives a year ago that were, they worked for them. And again, I hate to go back too much on that, but they had 20 points, but it felt like 40 by the way they controlled the ball. A lot of third and manageables, and then some fourths that they converted, and so we got to do a better job.
Corker in that defense, and what's the best words to describe him?
Yeah, it's a great point. Nobody, a lot of people don't talk about Yusuf that much, and Yusuf is just one of those guys that just has so many plays under his belt. He's gotten so much better because of the work that he's put into it, and his coaches have done a nice job with him, and he's just, you just have to love him. He's just one of those guys, just like a lot of guys you've heard me talk about. I hate to single out one because we have a lot of them, but the one that jumps out is Jamin, that he just kind of just came to work every day. You know what I mean? Just every day tried to get better, and did his job, and led himself, but obviously had influence on others. We always talk about leadership. Lead yourself first. Well, they're one of those guys that always seem to do the right thing every day. and then they have an influence over their position group, and then ultimately over the team. And Yusuf's a lot like that.
Well, JJ be on a snap count again Saturday, you think? And what does it say about his progress rehab-wise that he was able to go as long as he did on Saturday?
Very pleased with JJ. No setbacks. He felt good. He's getting confidence, and we'll see where we go from here. We'll see how the week goes.
Mark, how did Devontae Robinson play?
I was pleased with Devontae. He really kind of got back to where he was a couple years ago, and with the injury, and really did a good job, and we needed him to. It was a key position for us, and he did some good things.
Mike Drennan and what he was able to do out there.
Yeah.
What can he bring to that?
Another one, yeah, he could be one of those dynamic guys. He's got some top end. He's got some wiggle, maybe, and could make people miss in the open field. But Michael, it was nice to see him also get some tough yards, get the ball in the end zone, and becoming a complete back. I think it's going to be a good switch for him and for us.
You're on the touchdown at the beginning, but it's been a while since you guys have played a night game here in front of your fans. It's time to get back in that atmosphere here at home again.
Well, it was great to get home last week and whatever time we play, but I appreciate the fans being there. It was warm, but it wasn't. At least it was decent, and I appreciate the people being there. It's going to be a night game, so no excuses. We need that place packed, and looking forward to it.
There was a lot made of Monroe as the level of quality team, coming in.
Pardon me? Yep.
Last year, going on 10. And what did you see though from Monroe? Like, did they look like a good football team?
Well, I think Monroe. What I had a pretty good idea of going into it was that coach was going to have them fundamentally just trying to play the game the right way. Not much different than the situation I came into in year one. I went through phases where you're trying to you're trying to win, and so you're sometimes throwing things at the wall, but ultimately you have to just become a better football team fundamentally. And so that's what I saw. I saw a team that was well coached, that was just trying to do things the right way on all sides, and they were well coached. They were in position, but it also gives us a clean look. So that was good for us in that way. Certainly, with them being in year one, we, obviously had better personnel, but it gave us clean looks, and that was really good for us to work on ourselves. And that's what, I figured there'd be. I mean, that's, kind of what you have to do, when you're taking over a program like that, just fundamentally teaching those guys how to play the game. And you certainly saw a lot of plays in there where they did things very good.
Time for a couple more.
Mark, you talked balance all preseason, and you had 34 rushes, 33 passes. Is that something that you're physically tracking in your mind, or you just let that go?
Funny story about that. We were in our staff meeting after that, and Liam told me that, and I said, "Really?" It felt like 90% pass to me. It just goes to show you kind of where our mindset has been. You know what I mean? I mean that's a true story. I was like, wow. Yeah. So no, we weren't trying to track that. On paper say, that's just the way he calls plays, and that's what we've talked about. That's what you want to be, but to be exactly in play counts, run and pass 50-50, are we looking for that every week? At the end of the day, no. You're looking to win the game and do, and as Hayden Fry used to say, scratch where it itches.
How fast you guys were able to move those off? I mean, it's going to the huddle and that. Were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised because I've seen that. You've heard me talk about procedure a lot. And, it was different for y'all to see a huddle, right? And us to break the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, shift, motion, again, clean. We've been that way. The guys have worked hard. The coaches have worked hard. Our players have worked hard. And that's good. I mean, from a defensive perspective, you're breaking the huddle, you're getting to the line of scrimmage fast, there's motions, there's shifts. It's hard to get locked in. When you're at the line of scrimmage, even those guys that try to go fast but watch it from there, the defensive guys, you see whether it's 2x2 or 3x1. And you see, whether there's big, you get a beat on it sometimes. Not to say that it's easy, because it's not, depending on the personnel. A lot of it comes down to personnel. But anyway, I like the procedure, and I like the way we're getting in and out of the huddle and running the offense, and just got to continue to build on it and get, better. The one fumble, or the one snap issue we had, I was getting down there to call the timeout. I probably should have was walking down to call it, and but it was on first sound, and the minute Luke heard something, he snapped it. So things like that we'll continue to work on.
Mark, you often talked about the running game being important to help establish the passing game. The fans seem to be very pleased with the passing game. How excited are you to be able to give the fans what they want?
Well, I want to give the fans victories, so or you'll be talking to a new guy up here. So I think that's the big thing, is still to get victories. But I do also understand the importance of it. I mean, I like it too. It's a matter of what you can do, what you can do well. And I always, I want to win, and I want to do what we can do good. You would be talking to somebody else if I would have just sit there and said drop back pass, throw the ball, you know what I mean, and we just didn't get good at anything, you know what I mean. So we did things necessary to win games. Do I wish we would have won a few more or had a little more bounce? Of course. I'm always striving to be the best we can be, and I think that's still the case, whatever by any means necessary. However, again, any team that's one-dimensional one way or the other does not present as many problems as the teams that can do both. That's just fact.
So doing what you want to do, doing it well, again, it's not doing it perfectly, doing it excellently.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get me to say that. That's your words. I'm not gonna say it. I mean, we have a lot of good things to build on. We're not excellent yet. We're striving for it.
This ain't really a football question. I'm just kind of curious. 20th anniversary, September 11th coming up. What big day you gonna play? What does that mean? You just reflected on that, and I mean,
yeah.
For your players, it's maybe harder because a lot of them weren't around when that happened.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and I know exactly where I was. I was playing. We were getting ready to play. I was with the Hurricanes, and I was in my office, and one of the GAs or quality control coaches at the time or whatever were in their office breaking down film and saw it happen, and we were in there at defensive meeting and obviously went over to his office, all of us, and watched it, and then we saw the other plane hit, as we were watching it, and obviously I think just shock at that point in time, shock and a lot of different reactions. Sad, angry, disappointed, but I think after a short amount of time we knew we weren't going to play a football game that day or that Saturday.
Okay, folks, thank you very much.